Stagnate maturity blockers. In a world obsessed with emotional development, self-reflection and not being exhausting, stagnate maturity blockers let you pause your psychological growth at a stage that suits you. Becoming a man shouldn't have to mean moving out of your parents' basement, not getting angry about Star Wars casting a black actor. These are societal constructs that don't have to apply to you. Stagnate maturity blockers actively suppress empathy, self-awareness, and the phrase "I don't know." Stagnate maturity blockers are entirely natural. We resource pure red for every pill, and our lead flakes are scraped directly from pre-regulation automobile exhaust pipes. Stagnate maturity blockers, because growing up is for woke people. Maturity blockers not approved by science, philosophy, or anyone who knows you. Side effects include permanent outrage, alienating loved ones, starting podcasts, and confusing age with wisdom.
Nerderotic.com.
I'm here to tell you I understand what the filmmaker was trying to say with the film Cuties. Unfortunately, this is going to force that kind of mandate because you're pushing these boundaries, because you're trying to normalize something that shouldn't be normalized.
I understand what the filmmaker was trying to say with the film Cuties. Because you're trying to normalize something that shouldn't be normalized.
Did here today.
You're
We're all calling 911 or we're yelling for me to help.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw during the GLP-1 press conference.
Yes.
There was an individual. This person fainted. Did you see what Secretary Kennedy did?
Makes no sense.
Well, tell me what he did.
He split out of the room as if...
What do you think I'm going to do if something was to happen to you right now?
Well, you took an oath. You have to help me.
Okay, so why is Secretary Kennedy the one going out and saying, I care about profit? Am I going to ask? Okay, I'll tell you even a cooler story that no one even really knows. I was on an airplane last week. I was flying across the Atlantic Ocean to France.
Yes.
I was exhausted. I didn't sleep the night before. The reason I didn't sleep the night before was because I was doing a Make-A-Wish in Disney with a child who was dying of a cancer, who's only buying time because of the miraculous work at one of the Texas medical institutions. After that, I flew back home, only to fly the next day to France. I'm exhausted. They ask, is there a doctor on board? I help one individual. There's a second medical emergency. I help the second individual. There's a third medical emergency. I help that individual. Do I need props for that? Do I need money for that? I couldn't care less. I want to help people. These are the type of people and there's so many of them. It's not me. This is who I work with, the people that I surrounded myself with, the colleagues. Do they fail at times? Do they make you feel gaslit as a patient? Yes. We suck at that because our system sets us up as doctors for failure. Healthcare spending is at an all-time high. Absolutely true. Is that because doctors are getting paid more? Absolutely not. It's because administrators have ballooned beyond any reasonable level. Pharmaceutical companies have no transparency. Pharmacy benefit managers who take kickbacks and all sorts of rebates with zero transparency break the system. And instead of going after those issues, Secretary Kennedy's calling me a profit monger. Aren't you mad at that?
Yes, I absolutely am because I care about people.
Marvel Comics did actually, they have now made Black Panther a white guy. Do you know that? They've now made Black Panther a white guy. Well, not now, but in the future. In the Marvel Knights storyline called, what the hell is it called? The end of the world as we know it, whatever. I'll pull it up real quick. The world to come. That's what it is. The world to come. And it's just interesting that, you don't see any chuds talking about this. But they literally made Black Panther a white guy. As you can see here, there he is. The world to come. I mean, I don't know. Chuds aren't talking about it. You feel like they would because they've always said, well, what if we did this? What if we made... Okay, Marvel was in like Joe Quesada, and I'm imagining Christopher Priest had a good, say in this. It's like, yeah, okay. Let's do that. This is the heir to the Wakandan throne. A white dude. Spoiler alert, it's not going well for him. Well, I mean, it has actually been going well for him, but it's not going to end well for him. I'll say that. It hasn't been going well for the world because a fucking spoiled, entitled fucking white dude who did not earn his place or doesn't have his roots in the culture of Wakanda or anything, the legacy of T'Challa or T'Chaka or anything that came before him, a spoiled white dude thrust into that position simply by, I guess, new theme song, folks. There it is. Welcome.
The new theme song, huh? That's certainly.
Yeah.
You did not run that past the board?
No. I mean, I played it for you, and you haven't told me to never play it again. So I thought that was good enough.
Do you know what like affirmative consent means, Dane?
I'm learning. So did I just do one of these?
Not quite. Nah. But you know, you thought about it.
Yeah. Well, you know, so you know who Greg Bavino is? By the way, welcome to the stream.
The stream.
It's live stream, LiveAF. We'll say that. Sure. Just play it safe. You know, we've talked about it the other night. I can talk about it again a little bit later, something about what's going on. But basically, you know what? Because of the name of the stream, maybe I should go ahead and get it out of the way. We're collecting, you know, perspectives on what will hopefully be included in the final actual fandom video. That's not, you know, that's just fact. That's going to be the final actual fandom video. Look for it probably the end of the week. Had a trailer up about that. You know, and it's not a trick. It's not trolling. It's not bait. It also is not saying that I'm quitting YouTube. So, you know, doing a little bit of nerd-erotic logic there. It's not saying this, but wink, wink. you take whatever insinuation you want from it. Wink, wink. No. Yeah, it's
the channel is dead. Long live the channel.
It's you know, actual fandom has run its course. I don't feel it anymore, and that's, you know, not like anything to mourn. I would consider an accomplishment actually, and I'll talk about that in the final video. Which, you know, is set to include, if not cameos, then definitely takes from, you know, all the greats, all the folks that we surround ourselves with, and Shillcast folks, and been getting feedback for this one. So the video is, you know, title to be determined, however I'm framing it, but essentially it is a collection of all of the most salient, just straightforward identifiers for anti-fandom content and creators. Right. So the stuff that I've spent nearly 6 years, you know, on and off, a couple of breaks there and here and there, you know, making content about, you know, so for example, one of the ways that I can tell you right now that distinguishes this content and that video, upcoming video, from Chud anti-fan content is I can make a video that collects very clear and essentially unchanging signifiers for what I think anti-fandom content is. Right. And that you'll be able to understand it. There won't be any fucking floofy words or any kind of vague suggestions or anything like that. It's going to be very, very clear and direct. Whereas, can they make a video saying, listing all of the identifiers for what a woke movie is? Absolutely.
I mean, they can, in that they would just go, there's a woman, there's a person of color, there's a queer person. The Nazis look bad in it.
Sure. Well, I mean, if we're talking, you know, that if they're being honest, then sure.
But I think they're at that level of mask off now.
They've started to be a little bit more honest. But I'm talking about, you know, the traditional content where if you're just calling things woke and saying, oh, this movie is woke, even though previous movies from that they would call good contain the exact same thing, and that somehow that's different to them, and they will fucking hem and haw about why that is and all that shit. It's bullshit. And nonetheless, I've been collecting takes from, you know, all the greats, including Morgan, and including Bob of the Old Ways, including Pillar of Garbage, including Malachi from Edges and Now, who's got a really excellent and fun video.
Really good video out. Yeah.
Last week. It's really good. It's called Charlie Kirk Will Return in Avengers Doomsday.
that would might get me to see Avengers Doomsday.
Have you seen that video though?
Yes, I have. It's a really good video.
I was wondering how they got there with that, and I'm like, oh no, that totally actually makes perfect sense for the new video.
Yep. You gotta cook with it for a moment, but yeah, it gets there.
Yeah, it gets there. And then hopefully Organized Chaos can get off his golden throne, come out of his castle, his tower, and bestow me with some knowledge that I can use, and so on. By the way, update on Shillcast for this week. I don't think Organized Chaos is going to be on. That's not related to me talking fake shit on him just now. He just has to work this week, but I think me and Eric do it for sure, and then we'll see who else is able to join us this week at the regular time, regular day. Regular Shill channels, regular Shill times.
Same Shill time, same Shill channel.
So by the way, the Shillcast will continue. So we'll talk more about it in maybe later in the show or something about what the exact reasons, or maybe you just wait for the video. I don't know.
Sure.
But tonight we're just going to kind of look at a couple of loose things, not necessarily completely light, like a couple of things connected to some of the terrible shit going on, but we're not going to get into super heaviness, really, I hope.
Bob was not going to be available and that he was on the Golden Throne.
Yeah.
I found a picture of him.
There it is. Organized Chaos depicted here.
Yeah, this is Organized Chaos on the Golden Throne. That's what he looks like when he doesn't have the makeup on and stuff. Like when he's on stream, this is actually what he looks like. He's actually Bob of the oldest ways.
Right. That's true. You know what? Like, honestly, and it's not even his fault. It's the right-wing media sphere's fault that they did that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's his fault for being a piece of shit. Charlie Kirk was absolutely a piece of shit, but I don't think he made himself into a meme. I think that them trying to force him as their martyr made him into a meme.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. They tried so hard. And I think part of it is that just like normies,
nobody knew who he was.
No one knew who he was unless you were me or you or like someone who is plugged into this stuff. And a lot of normies who sort of know I'm, more politically involved, like they looked up this guy and like, you know about this guy? And I'm like, oh yeah, he's a piece of work. It's like, holy crap, the shit he said. And
not even that, but like not to mention that the prior year before he died, he had really fallen off really hard. Like he was not as nearly as ever president as he was. And then the only couple of times I'd seen him pop up in the algorithm was like when he was getting his ass handed to him by some college student, or when he went over to England and tried to do that with him.
Or like when when Gavin Newsom had him on.
Yeah, I didn't even see that when it happened. I didn't know about it until after the fact. So, but I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
That was my I finally remember that as the time I was just like, well, okay, Gavin Newsom can die in a fire now.
No. Well, I mean, you're right. Like he was definitely his head face ratio was a meme, for sure.
Yeah,
but that was amongst people who knew who he was. I feel like, you know what I mean. Like otherwise, people weren't sharing memes of his head face ratio and laughing at what a piece of shit he was, because otherwise you'd just be laughing at some poor guy with an unfortunate ratio of head to face. Right. So you had to know who he was. It wasn't until they started pushing it, and like Morgan was saying, people are like, "Who? What did he? What did he say?" They're saying he's some kind of civil rights leader or something. And it's like, whoa,
he's a civil rights leader who hates civil rights.
Yeah, he's leading civil rights straight to hell. Okay,
straight to the toilet. Yeah. So, and I think that's what made him a meme. And now I think most recently,
oh man.
Oh god damn, Mark. So there's
I will say that people like to say that he was far right, but right there at the end he did go a little left.
Have you heard about the GTA mods?
Yes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be. So people won't stop making GTA mods of the Charlie Kirk, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, of the moment. Yeah.
So this is, you said this like 3 times now, and I'm more convinced than ever that this is actually your name, and you're just saying this. I hate to say that, man, but like, nobody, no friend. Why would your friend stop it? Just stop it. Nobody cares.
Make a new account or something. I don't know.
Anyway,
I hope whatever's going on with you is okay. It sounds like you're having some sort of weird technical
But you know,
difficulties with
like
your account.
I think he wants me to. I don't know why he's here. I've blocked him because like he was in here, you know, just shitting on me and shitting on my music at one point. And it's like, look, man, you don't like my music. That's fine. I'm sure I don't expect anybody that's in my chat to like it or love it or listen to it or anything. But like, why the fuck would you go out of your way to insult somebody if you want to be like welcome somewhere? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you can actually just get fucked. I don't care, man. I mean, especially because you're using someone else's account. You're misrepresenting yourself. I don't like that shit.
Oh God. Screwface points out a wonderful potential future. Moving on to Fortnite mods, so that way the Simpsons can.
So, you know. By the way, there's a link. I mean, URL on the screen that go ahead and save that.
Yes, save that. Save that link.
Could come in handy. I mean, if you're in Minnesota, it's already coming in handy. But it's going to come. I mean, they're everywhere already. I've got them here in Portland. Been talking about what to do with my partner in the event that because we've got amazing cleaning faculty here in the building, especially this one lady who I'm friends with. I kind of worry about where they what I mean. So like I'm starting to get with people and see what we can do to protect folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say her name, but she's awesome. She's an older lady. One time I was doing laundry up on the 2nd floor, and there was some guy that was just kind of going nuts. Big, like 6'3" white dude was like just fucking kind of going aggro. Something had set him off that had nothing to do with anybody. You know what I mean? And he was like in the laundry room, fucking threatening her while she was in there cleaning it up and stuff. And I came up to do my laundry, and she was like fucking trembling. And I didn't know what was going on. She was like, did you see the man out there? And I was like, no, I didn't see him. She was like, he was, threatening me and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit. So I put my laundry in and then fucking walked her downstairs, and as I did, he walked past us and started to say some shit. And I just kind of fucking glared at him. This guy probably would fucking kick my ass if he really chose to. But I mean, still was like, dude, you're fucking threatening a fucking middle-aged, cleaning lady. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. It has nothing to do with anything. And, so
yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, so I feel a little bit not over, but protective of her as is apparently.
Yeah.
and anybody in my community.
Well, and it's and we all we said this was going to happen. God's 2 years ago now at this point. That like they're just going to go after the criminals. They're just going to go over people who are here illegally. They're just going to go after the cartels. And we all were like, no, obviously they're not. And
yeah, we were saying that from before the election. Yeah, you like said 2 years ago. We were warning against this. We were like, take this seriously. We're not we're not alarmists. We're people that actually, we're not the smartest people in the world, but we do like to read, and we like to discuss the things we read and make sure that we have good context for what we've read and understand. And, and I know a lot of you here have been here the whole time and you understand it too. You've understood the threat from then as well. But man, it is yeah, it's crazy. They think they're all criminals, and then they think that anybody who's like, hey, maybe don't be mean to these people, because the Constitution actually says persons, not citizens, as far as like treating people with due process and rights. But yeah, they don't seem to give a shit about that. Anyway, speaking of which, Greg Bavino's a big piece of shit.
Yeah, he's I think he sounded more intelligent in the original German.
What's the original German?
Just the same shit, but in German.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'm actually going to correct myself. He's not a big piece of shit, apparently. Check this out.
He's actually
I was in Minneapolis, and look, we just stumbled upon Greg Bovino at a Speedway for a pre-Hague photo shoot. So good for him, I guess. For those following along at home, I have nothing against short men, but I do just have to report back there is about a 4-inch height difference. Do you want to get closer so they can see?
No, they're a little higher than
Still not the same. Just there's so many short men in the world who do not deal with their anger by separating families. So Greg, you're standing right there in front of me, but to everyone following along at home, I hope you eat. I hope this keeps you up at night for the rest of your life, and no one wants you here. Oh, fantastic language. There's children in here, and your vehicle. Choke.
Joke.
Comrade Rachel Cohen ran into U.S. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino in Minnesota.
Do you have any comment about what's happening out here today?
No comment at this time, Allie. We're just protecting federal facilities and making sure that order remains the way it should.
Do you have any comment on this?
He's got a bitch voice. I hate to say it, but he's got a little bitch voice. You know, it's never the voice that you expect him to. That they definitely want you to think they have, right?
Right. He thinks he sounds cooler. He has that look on his face, like the voice he's hearing and his like head reverberation is not the voice the rest of us hear.
Yeah.
The FBI go ahead and take care of their investigation.
A man who has sold his soul.
I told him I was trying to leave. He said, it was.
The officer knew you were trying to leave?
Yes, the officer knew I was trying to leave.
This is the 6-month-old they flashbanged.
Oh God,
it was I mean, not like directly. That's coming soon. Trust me. But you know, they threw one under this man's car where he had his family in there.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Well, and so for those who don't understand what a flashbang is, who maybe have seen them in like movies or in video games or something, a flashbang, the flash is one part of it, but the bang is a like concussive force that can actually cause injury by design. And you typically don't throw those things at a car
under
full of
vehicles.
Children? Yeah, under
a vehicle. I feel like that might potentially cause some kind of reaction, like an explosive reaction. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing too many movies, but
yeah, I mean that's some amount of Hollywood, but I just don't know what the mechanism by which they detonate. If it is some sort of actual like incendiary explosive that causes the pop, then who knows? Maybe.
Who'd you blame? Did you blame CGH?
Who got blame-o'd?
I think he might have blamed CGH for this one. I mean, look, I have ADHD, so when I say this, don't take it like a bigotry type of thing, but get your ADHD under control, man.
Damn.
I'm not even medicated right now, for real. Fuck.
I am very medicated right now.
That's what I pay. That's what I pay Morgan all the money for. Checks in the mail, by the way. Checks in the mail.
Oh, cool. For free fitty free.
Yeah, free 90 free, 100%.
Oh, we're
no taxes taken out either. That's net.
Oh, nice.
Or gross. Sorry.
It is gross. You're gross.
It is gross. It really is just gross. It's fucking disgusting. Really, how much I pay you.
Yeah.
All right. We're looking to make some changes on that front. That's part of the whole thing. Is it's not by any means the main driver, but look, the fact is, I've determined with my channel now being demonetized for a second time, there's absolutely. I used to not think this. I used to think that maybe, but of course there is when you think about it. There is a direct correlation between whether or not your channel is earning money and whether or not they will put it out in the algorithm.
Yep.
So, I can no longer view this as just like, fuck it. I used to, the first time, you guys remember I was fucking demonetized for a long time. And I was like, you know what? At least it proves I'm not a grifter. It's like,
right.
It also proves that I have no desire to have my message heard.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how this system works. So we're that's part of the rebranding, new channel, new face, new.
Yep.
Everything.
Look for in the final video later in the week. It'll have all the info because I'll even run it by some people to make sure I didn't forget anything. You know what it might include too? Probably not. But Donald Trump, dude. Donald Trump. Did you guys know that he shit his pants at the Oval Office in front of 2 little girls the other day?
Shut the what?
Oh yeah.
Shut.
To Micro Interactive, Donald Trump not only fell asleep today during a press conference, but he also audibly broke the wind. I don't know if that's what happened. I want you to watch this for yourself and you let me know if you heard the wind break.
This, Peter Welsh, it is a bipartisan issue, and understanding where we are in this country and how important the health of certainly our children is so important.
Do you hear that?
How important the health of in this country and how important the health of certainly our.
It's hard to hear, but you know, no, I mean there's a video that I watched where you could hear like an audible squirt. And that little girl definitely heard or smelled
something. Yeah, that. So if you want something less shitty in your ears, you should subscribe to this channel.
Why are y'all blamoing these fucking pedo lovers? It's the instant they say something. Like all they're doing is announcing they're pedo lovers.
That's why I'm, Oh,
okay. Gotcha.
I actually have I have a new like auto turret that just like when a pedo lover shows up, it just shoots them with a hammer. The band hammer is loaded into the turret, and the turret shoots the band hammer.
I guess I like to shame them, but I guess I can still shame them once they're blamoed, so they don't get to try and deflect from the fact that they love a pedophile president.
Yeah, they love a pedophile president.
That being said, do you guys know who Pearl Davis is? Apparently Morgan didn't.
I do not know who Pearl Davis is. I was blissfully, happily ignorant.
So Pearl Davis is a huge, stupid piece of shit. And I actually mean that literally, physically too. She's like 6'4" or some shit. And just my superficial-ish take on it is that I know that for a fact that she was raised by, she's rich girl. Seemed to have everything handed to her. Seems to be kind of a little bit dumb. And then also she's just a little bit plain. And I think that she feels she feels entitled to some kind of compensation for that. So she's spent the last few years just catering straight up to the manosphere chuds, saying things like women shouldn't have the right to vote, that slavery was over embellished, things like that. There was a moment where she was on with Ethan Klein and H3H3 a couple of years ago, back whenever, that brief period whenever he seemed pretty cool, before he went all, pro-Israel balls out and stuff. But like, he even made her look pretty stupid. He got her to say that she basically doesn't care about a topic she was, questions on.
Damn.
No one could fix Pearl Davis. That's true. And Anna Kasparian, and yes, we are not fans of Anna Kasparian around here. As far as I know, she has not walked back or corrected or updated her understanding of the things that she was saying that were pretty fucking stupid a while back.
Yeah, she had a lot of like, oh, Trump won't be that bad. A lot of weird anti-trans nitpicks that were just kind of based on things she either made up or misattributed.
Why do these rapists show up? These people with rapist energy. You're straight up like, you're like, somebody tells you no, don't be here, we don't like you here, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking go inside there anyway. It's weird, man. It's weird.
I'll say this though, that like every time they show up and we ban a new channel and they make a new account to chat with, it's another viewer.
It is. It actually helps my and if they actually understood how little I give a fuck, that I don't make music for people to fucking, I literally don't. I made it for myself, and it's I understand on a fucking at my core how subjective art is. And if you think it's not, and you think you're hurting my feelings by coming at me from the perspective that art is not subjective, then you are just fucking moronic. You're just moronic. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. They think they've identified something there. Anyway. We'll continue to blame them. I mean, how fucking sad of a life do you have to be to keep going to a stream that, you're not welcome at?
Well, that's why they're a fan of Team Pedo, right? Is that it's just like they are, as a culture, not capable of understanding no means no, or I don't care.
Has she? Well,
I honestly, I don't know.
But, at least in the context we're about to see, she not that it takes a lot of but she did it. Check this out.
Kasparian did this like debate thing called open debate or
Are you
something.
just
I'm not entirely certain what it was, but apparently just Pearly things got fucking destroyed, annihilated.
Making things up?
That's her.
Yeah.
Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously. Next.
Bro, she was tweaking. Apparently, Anna cooked her so hard her brain stopped working. I mean, yeah, sure, it's a layup to debate Pearl, but like you couldn't even talk. Like, you got destroyed so hard that you couldn't even make words with your mouth.
Yeah, real time.
How many women die every year during childbirth? Not many. This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth, yes.
So what, like, what is going on here? Like, I don't even understand the format. Like, she just goes, like, she's not even making noise. What the?
So I hope, because I haven't watched this specific edit yet, but like the clips that I was watching the other day, they both have a stack of papers in front of them. You know, they both have, the topics they're going to talk about. Anna, refers to hers now and then. A couple of points when Anna asks her what should be, if you're engaging in these topics, is something you could at least start to speak on while you look for the specific information. You know what I mean? Something that she should be able to just say something on. She's like, takes minutes to just thumb through her, stapled together pages, trying to find some answer, something to say. And has
she done a debate before?
Like I said, I think the only one I know of was it's not that I'm a biographer or anything. The only one I know of was the Ethan one. She didn't do well in that. And that was casual, just on live stream. This was like a debate,
it's a structured debate. Yeah.
Like I said, American Gladiator aesthetics and shit.
That whole, I mean, like, debate channels can be pretty cringe, but this one seems like bonus cringe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for considering this is the first one I've seen by them, and the Pearl, was one of the main people involved. I'm like, they're not selling me on it.
No, they are not.
But I'm also to the point where, and I think everybody should be, where debate is no longer useful. There's no debate to be had unless, maybe if that your opponent will just end up looking like Pearl, but there's no guarantee of that. But I mean, in that event, like, sure, I guess if you're just a fucking, badass and that your opponent's just literally brain dead, why not? Can't hurt anything, I guess. But like, in general, everybody's dug in. People's minds are made up,
Right. Like it I don't know if you caught any of the Ben Shapiro, Gavin Newsom conversation.
I did.
The only reason that I would debate someone like Ben Shapiro is so he has less time in the day to go on a friendly platform like Gavin Bobblehead Newsom. Because he spends that whole
Gavin, I've already written him off as potential. I've already written him off as a candidate, by the way. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
but like, the thing I will say is that he is very good at having detailed information in debates like this, except he rattles it off very quick and then moves on.
Yeah.
And that was what he was doing that was pissing me off. And this is like, okay, Ben says something kind of stupid. He has some facts to come back at him with, and then he just kind of spits it out and then moves on, and like almost immediately kind of leans back towards giving Ben some kind of credit for something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? So yeah, he's an op. I mean, look, he's vehemently against any billionaire tax in California. Now he's trying to fucking have it both ways and say that he might not be against it in a federal tax. Well, prove it in fucking state then, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prove it in your fucking. You have a golden chance to show what the fuck you would govern as federally, and you're showing us. So thank you.
Give me a reason to believe you. Oh, okay, I see. Though Bob does point out one. This I don't know if you caught this from Pierce Morgan.
That was pretty good.
That was just good.
And that's exactly it. It needs to be that if you're going to debate, know your shit and then performatively wreck them.
Yeah,
Kyle knows that. That's what Look, I stopped watching Kyle for no specific reason. I just kind of got out of watching him for years. I used to watch him years ago. Now I'm back all in on Kalinsky now because this motherfucker is like. He gets angry at like pretty much any video he puts out. He starts off and he's like professional. And he's like, semi. He's like, what's up, y'all? We're gonna talk about this. By the end of the video, he's just fucking cursing and angry at the exact appropriate things, and I love it.
Yeah, there's some things I don't like about his coverage of things, but like on the whole, he's a passionate ally and activist and reporter in this space.
Oh, Philly Phil, dude, what are you doing with that? That's a weird take, man.
Philly.
Pull out.
Yeah, you're like on the road, and there's a fork, and one of those road is the JQ, and just take the other fork, bro.
You're veering toward the JQ a bit. Just go ahead and cut it hard the other way, man.
Cut it hard the other way.
I don't think that you. I think that you were trying to reference the thing, but you just sound like you're doing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Did not come off the way you intended.
Look,
What is this even?
What?
She's just frozen.
Dude,
You got
this is
this, Pearl?
insane. Shouldn't have eaten that second edible. This is so cringe.
So fucking Shut says, "You got this, Pearl," after a minute and a half of her saying nothing.
What is her full name? Pearl what?
Davis.
Davis?
Yeah, she used to go by just Pearly Things, but now it's her channel apparently is just Pearl now.
She's on something. Pearl is beautiful, but you mog her. She's drunk. Is kind of autistic. She's getting ready to crack. Pearl isn't a debater. Dude, this is insane. What happened there? Does she have an answer for it? This is exactly what happened when Amy Therese tried to debate someone on a live stream years ago. Instantly cornered into a long, brutal silence. You can't let their Twitter bluster fool you. All reactionaries are paper tigers. Oh, for sure. This is the meta for the night. For the right, you just literally concede to the point, but maintain your opinion. Wait, no shot. This is the cope. I swear to God, this cope is even crazier. Update. Pearly Things revealed on stream that she was considering physically assaulting Anna Kasparian during her debate, but held herself back due to fears of catching a charge. Also, why does she look like that? Is that like a face filter? Did they put like some kind of strange face filter on her face? What's happening? Like,
that's so awkward.
It looks different. Like, she looks different here too, by the way. Like, this is not what she used to look like. Wait, is there a point where, yeah, this is not what she used to look like at all. Women don't need to look good for you. First of all, I'm not even talking about how, like, I'm not even talking about like her attractiveness. Okay. I'm saying she looks different than the way she used to back in the day. I don't know what the happened. Good genes. Okay. Nah, she looks the same. Okay. I mean, if you say so. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know what the happened to her.
Like, you can talk like this to men, but I'm bigger than you. I could body you. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Bro, she's going nonverbal even on her own stream. What the hell?
Yeah. I know, but I have this fear in me of the police. I never want to like get in trouble in that way. But you know, I'm getting older. And have you noticed the older you get, I'm like, do you know what? I could catch a charge. I was thinking during the
bro.
No, it's actually the exact opposite for me, to be honest. Like, it's the exact opposite. Like, I don't want to. Now, I'm more willing to for the right reason. But when I was much younger, I didn't give a shit. I'd catch a charge for dumb shit. I actually did. So, like,
I'm just kind of flabbergasted because, like, if you hadn't led with this was some kind of debate, I would be like, is this some kind of like parody video? Like, what is actually going on here? Because it's just fucking up there frozen. She's 404'd, blue screen of death in that puffy shirt. It just, what is happening?
I got a hot take. I actually appreciate her in that debate, and especially in that post debate, because she's being honest in a way, you know,
Sure.
in the sense that she's not even trying to act like she knows what the fuck she's talking about. I don't know if you played it already, but there's literally a part where Anna just is like, Pearl, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like not just, and you can tell the implications, like, with your fucking life. You know what I mean?
Right.
but like the
good
whole
for Anna.
wanting to fight and stuff like that. You know, I said back in my early video about emotional intelligence on the right being a lacking thing, that how much debate had taken on the vocabulary of violence. You know what I mean? And that to me, even back then, 2019, 2020, I was like, I feel like that kind of gives away the game of what they're really wanting. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're talking about destroying or wrecking or fucking bodying somebody in debate or whatever, which is supposed to be a discussion or
Intellectual
disagreement, a structured disagreement of ideas or whatever, and it's taking on this language of violence. You know what I mean? And so in that way, it's like, yeah, I think that's what it always has been about. Obviously, we're seeing that now. They stopped wanting to debate right around the time that they started able to actually do institutional violence against people.
Yeah, imagine that. I do think that when it comes to debate, and one thing that no one told her, it's wrestling. And like the stage is very clearly like this faux gladiator wrestling production thingy.
Yeah, you've got fucking
but then like
planes and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like you're putting on a show. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. Especially when it comes to political debate, like academic debate is a whole other animal. But this ain't that. And she just looks so out of place in that, like, she's got to go on her Eric July post stream to complain about.
Yeah, Eric July
and talk about how she's gonna body someone. It's just like, because that's what I'm reminded of, right? Is that like when Eric July debated Organized Chaos, and he had to have like his cry session post stream with his chat, because he embarrassed himself in front of God and everyone.
Okay, you the big bad booty daddy.
I mean, it's true, I am, but you know,
I don't actually have, I don't think, a clip ready for that from that, but that's what the closest I have.
I accept it.
Okay.
That like you seem weak. You seem incompetent, and in her case, you know, I don't think Eric July wasted Bob's time.
No, but
a conversation in some ways, just not for Eric July. I feel like I would be embarrassed to be Anna Kasparian up there. Like you put yourself together for the day. You do all your research. You get your papers in order, and you go up on this fucking cartoon stage with the fucking cartoon fire, and this poor girl, you know, just crashes like she's running Windows 98. And
I was about to go for a Windows Vista or something, but yeah. Hey, don't you talk about 98? God damn it! Vista's the.
Yeah, this is another good one. Emmy, yeah, no, any of those. Pick your least favorite version of Windows, and that's what she went up there and did. Is just crashed hard. And like, if I were Anna Kasparian, she's like, I am wasting my time. What am I doing?
Yeah, I mean,
here?
and this goes all the way to the quote unquote top, right? So, for instance, you know, another contest that is not about violence whatsoever, elections,
right?
And then you get you get Trump and January 6th and all that it was very violent, people died. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, we just passed the anniversary of January 6th, so yeah.
Yeah, I actually have, you know what, since that came up, I do have a clip to bring up about that, so real quick.
Sure.
Because, you know, as you know, they're currently, the GOP is trying to do their counter garbage fucking hearings on it.
Yeah.
To prove that the FBI, blah, 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 or whatever the fuck, and, you know, a bunch of bullshit. It's stupid. It's not true. But let me pull this up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's so dumb. just the like they won't even put up the memorial, like the Johnson won't even have the House vote on like the memorial plaque for the cops who were hurt and killed. Like, you know, for all these cop lobbies and stuff that are all, you know, all on board the Trump train, we already know what they'll do to you. We've seen it, and you're still riding his dick. It just bigotry rots the brain. Like, that's really just the conclusion I've got, is that just like the fuck.
Wow, I thought I had it downloaded, but you know what I have is a it's had somewhere, and I'll pull it in a minute. But excuse me, is you know, I forget the guy's name. He's been one that's been on my radar more lately. God damn it. Let me just find the clip and we'll move on and come back to it. But
sure.
I don't want to not mention the guy's name because he's pretty cool so far.
Yeah, or an actual combat sport, like when Andrew Tate lost. He literally said, "I wouldn't have lost if I hadn't gotten tired." Shut up. That's how sports work. Yes.
Did you not? Have you not heard that that's what he's saying?
I did not know. I saw the clips of him getting walloped.
Yeah, and his thing is like, yeah, I got beat, but I got tired. I don't know why I got tired. And it's like, maybe it's all of the cigars that you're constantly smoking.
Yeah, you smoke cigars like you want to be fucking Winston Churchill.
Yeah, he said God chose him to lose. That's right. He made it out his loss was some kind of divine thing that actually, therefore it's good.
God.
There's honestly never been a more pathetic, I mean, other than, you know, January 6th and Trump, I guess,
sure,
fucking cope for obvious loss. You know what I mean?
I will give him this, though, just the slightest hint of credit that, like, normally, like, when these athletes, you know, say God made them win, so at least it's kind of novel that, oh, God made me lose. Oh, okay, well, sure. Yeah. That's different. Okay.
Well, let's continue on here and see what. There's only a couple minutes left of this.
Sure.
I would literally destroy her, by the way, in a bout of fisticuffs. Another angle.
What am I talking?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Even her bit rate going nonverbal. Oh, many such cases. Yeah, I saw that. And I wanted to watch it because it's very pathetic. Speaking of which, this is what I wanted to show you. This is one of those Agartha memes, okay?
Wiggers in Agartha? Nah, this is Wigartha. Wow. The lore goes deeper than I thought.
What?
These fly white boys pulled up to the gateway in Antarctica. Damn these boys so icy. There was nothing there until this Wigga opened the portal. Oh shit, there it is. Wigartha, greeted by Agarion the Luminous, the first Wigga. He showed these boys around and uncovered the true lore. Wiggas weren't born in the suburbs. They were born in Wigartha. Suddenly, the earthly Wiggas were surrounded.
No, bro, it's Xinjiang. It's Xinjiang. You're getting it wrong.
Oh,
okay.
Gross.
That's where the Uyghurs are from. And they're not white. They're Asian of Turkic descent.
No outsiders have been let in for centuries. They were taken to the Wigarthan High Council for questioning. Only true Wiggas could pass the test. Does thy Wigga true?
This is why I don't sub to you, man. What the f is this? Bitch, you subbed to me for 3 months.
They have motion. Yes, they flexed up on the OGs and were unanimously granted residency. They were each given Wigarthan snow bunnies as an offering. It got them thinking. You know who would really fuck with it here? Oh yeah, the big boys gotta pull up.
Yep.
That's
what is this? Oh my God. This is beautiful. He didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. I don't agree with him, but I don't hate her. Does Jonathan Ross deserve to go to jail for the death of Renee Good? What? John Matter to the U.S. Senator John Fetterman fans Facebook group. It's so over, dude. It's so over. Oh my God. Chairman Mao, save us. Xi Jinping, save me. Xi Jinping. Yeah, I saw that there are levels to centrism you couldn't dream of. You had the Ashley Babbitt. Renee Good and Ashley Babbitt a tribute, like the
Oh my
murals
God.
in Ireland. This would be the American mural, you know, anti-colonial resistance mural. We are spiritually and fundamentally a broken nation. Oh, I seen this. Yeah, dark filters invented by BBC.
Oh my God. Look, I was trying to find something, so I just left it up to you.
I am. As a culture, we shall never see the light of Funky Town, nor do we deserve to.
No, we don't. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Here we go. Yeah,
Okay.
Moskowitz. That's what I was thinking of.
Moskowitz.
Yeah. He is Representative Jared Moskowitz. I'm not sure where he's from, but you know, so they we're having some conversations in this stupid bullshit hearing that has actually opened up the door to have, you know, we had Jack Smith should come in and actually expose the whole goddamn program. They didn't like that very much. They didn't want that publicized.
No, they did not, and everything we've seen from it is real bad for them.
Well, not to mention just who the Republicans have invited into this hearing, and given VIP seating, by the way.
Right.
Have you seen any of that?
No.
Yeah. Here we go. I got it here.
VIP seating. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. First, let me say thank you to the FBI and the Department of Justice and law enforcement for catching the pipe bomber. By the way, the other side of the aisle came with videos showing the riot on January 6th. Keep showing those videos. We can sit here and let's watch a couple hours of that footage. I don't know why you think that helps you. Just reminds the American people what they saw with their eyes: thousands of people storming into a building, beating police officers. So, I mean, if we wanted the next hearing, Mr. Chairman, for like a documentary standpoint, like maybe we should watch all of the film from. Why wasn't the riot worse? Why didn't even more people go in? You know, why wasn't it even worse? We had a couple thousand. Why wasn't it 10,000? Why did some people decide not to break the law? It's a weird sort of thing to ask. Oh, and then we got Ray Epps. Love this. Ray Epps, okay? Ray Epps told us to do it. He told us to break the law and break windows and doors and beat police officers and hang Mike Pence and try to break onto the floor of the House of Representatives and wipe feces on the walls. We only did it because Ray Epps.
I mean, I don't hear many Republicans talking like this anymore, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure you're right, but like, he's at least admonishing the fucking January 6th insurrection.
Representative Frost is from Florida, and he seems pretty good, but that's probably an outlier.
Florida's a mixed bag, literally. I mean, look, I know somebody that's there right now. Bob.
Yeah, Maxwell Frost. Yeah, Bob.
How pathetic. Who are these lemmings that broke into the Capitol because Ray Epps told them to do it? By the way, if you go to Ray Epps' Wikipedia page, Ray Epps says he's an American wedding planner and Oath Keeper chapter president. #1 wedding planner to the Oath Keepers. I will say, weddings are a place that you give an oath. So that's totally fair. By the way, the head of the Oath Keepers is here with us in the audience. Stuart Rhodes is here today.
Oh my God.
It's not every day, of course. Not every day, of course, you get to meet someone who was convicted of seditious conspiracy against the United States. Hasn't happened in 30 years, of course. Sitting in the front row in the reserved section, which is controlled by my colleagues across the aisle. Not sure why he's here. I don't know if he's here to tell us about the Oath Keepers' secret handshake or what treehouse they meet in or whether girls are allowed in. I've always wondered that about the Oath Keepers.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But yeah, he's here. I mean, I don't know. You have any questions, my colleagues across the aisle, for the head of the Oath Keepers that's sitting in the reserved section of this hearing? I mean, he wasn't pardoned. He's still convicted of seditious conspiracy. Something you guys say didn't happen. right? There wasn't an insurrection. I don't know how you get convicted of seditious conspiracy. So, and then we got Mr. Speciale, who says, the reason we didn't catch the pipe bomber is because we were so focused on trying to catch Trump people, Trump supporters. Well, Mr. Speciale, breaking news, as it turns out, the pipe bomber is a Trump supporter. So you're right, they were focused on trying to catch people. Turns out, it's just that person, the person you're talking about. And so I went to your website because you mentioned it, Mr. Speciale, and you put on your website that January 6th should not be forgotten, like the Holocaust and 9/11. It's interesting that you chose those two events that also have terrible conspiracies about them, right? Like the Holocaust didn't happen or it wasn't as bad, or that 9/11 was done by the Jews or an inside job, right? It's interesting that you lump in this one with those. I find that fascinating. The Holocaust happened, Mr. Speciale?
That's an asinine question. Of course it did.
Okay. 9/11 happened?
Of course it did.
Was 9/11 done by the American government?
I don't believe so, no.
Was it done by the Israelis?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. 6 million people died in the Holocaust, right?
Yeah, I think that's the number.
Okay, so
I think it's actually worse than that when you think about all the consequences of all the soldiers and all the
tens
innocent.
of millions of people died in World War II.
yeah.
Yeah, 70 million actually, I think is the number of total people that died in World War II. But this was a conspiracy.
Yeah, and I think that's the frustrating part for me is that we've got Congressman Raskin up there smiling while he's watching videos of one of the biggest tragedies that our country has ever faced, and he's over there giggling about how, and you're saying we should watch it over and over again. We should watch it over and over again. We absolutely should, because I think that day, were it not for Donald Trump saying, thank you, everybody, go home, it could have been worse.
What a fucking
Jesus
piece of
Christ.
shit. What a fucking piece of shit.
What a just, oh my God.
You notice how the aggression level rose with the bullshit, right?
Uh-huh.
Like commensurate, like 100% commensurate. Just like as I'm saying more bullshit, my anger rises.
He has to get angry because he doesn't, like, he has to project anger because he couldn't say it otherwise, right? Like it's an act, right? It's, yeah, he is.
That brings us to another couple of little clips here. By the way, I didn't really announce this, but I am looking for examples, specific identifiers for how you yourself might spot anti-fan content or content creators. No wrong answers, really. Welcome any answer you, and if you give one that I end up using, if you want me to credit you, I'll credit you. If not, I won't. Just let me know, or I'll tell you if I'm going to choose yours is one I'm going to hold on to. Got a good list here. It'll be, if you do have one chosen, it'll be among many that will be in my final AF video. That's going to be alongside, the giants on whom I stand on their shoulders, and so on. So yeah, any way that you think is a surefire way to identify anti-fandom content, go ahead and any point throughout the stream you want to leave that, let me know.
Well, I think Jay Kung has something here that's kind of related. They say Trump started January 6th. Chuds won't say that.
True.
If they pretend to care about pop culture but insist that Trump didn't do January 6th, they're chud.
Yep. So here's a quick, just a quick thing here. Once again, I think this is also a Hassan clip, but I saw it independent of Hassan before I ended up finding it from him and then just downloaded it. But
Trump sends in the Marines to Los Angeles, California, and let's say I'm out going to see a movie on a weekend, and he says, go into that shopping mall.
Under a truck.
Quiet piggy. He says, go into that shopping mall and kill everyone you see. And let's say I get gunned down by the Marines for just being at a mall.
Okay, number one,
All four.
let's just take
Okay,
it
Dad,
one step
wait a minute,
further.
Mom. Dad, you just said you are for Donald Trump murdering me for no reason, and you would support that.
If he walks into a mall to
it's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. I mean, I will, having done it myself, and I know that Eric does, we've adopted similar aesthetics here and there, but they definitely take it to an extreme. So,
And it's every fun thumbnail with a woman in it or a person of color. They do the big eyes. They will darken them. They'll do all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
people with military.
There has to be a reason.
There's a reason, and I'm all for it. And the people in Los Angeles, California, are as deserving of execution as the assholes in New York City. You're all communists.
What is really funny is for those of you who don't know this podcast at all, they go, did he just say mom and dad? And the answer is yes. To which I repeated, I don't think we can live normally in a country where 20% of the population operates like this. We need cult deprogramming. Like, you can't really have a country if 20% of the population straight up thinks like, yeah, no, all the commies deserve it, including my own children. This is, once again, something that I talk about all the time. This is a byproduct of creating a malleable population because you pay wild education. The public schooling system is completely in a dire state of disrepair. There is a massive class disparity in educational attainment and educational outcomes in general. And that creates an environment where there's a lot of people who are just not very intelligent. People who are stupid are malleable. They're easy to manipulate.
Yeah, and just for, to clarify, and I don't think he meant it any other way than this either. But like, when if I say stupid, if I say someone is dumb, I do not believe that is an inherent biological or congenital or born with and can't change kind of thing. I think it has exactly to do with education. I think that's the tragedy that we're in, is that we have a country full of essentially stupid people, because there has been intentional effort primarily by Republicans, but definitely failure and lack of pushing for educational funding by the Democrats.
Right.
So that's where we're at. And
to build off of it, because I also think there are some genuinely smart people who believe absolute garbage.
Sure.
We're all, to varying degrees, somewhere between kind of stupid and very stupid, just because we can only know so many things, which is why we as not just we as a civilization, but why civilizations throughout history have used division of labor and an education system and passing on expertise and trusting the experts in your society to like answer some of those things so that you can do what you're good at. This whole conservative movement, if I'm being maximally charitable to it, exists in a mindset where your gut reaction is as good as my expertise. And also your expertise is better than my gut reaction, because you know how smart you are about the thing you're smart about. So you're smarter than me in your area of expertise, but then you think it applies to everything. When it doesn't, you're dumb and easy to mislead, just like the rest of us.
Yeah. And I mean, Bob, you're obviously right. And this is the kind of shit that CJH, I want you to ask yourself something before you comment, man. I mean, I value you being in the community and stuff. I feel like you could do yourself a favor, but and be honestly have more meaningful contribution to the conversation. If you ask yourself, is what I'm saying beneficial or productive to the conversation that's being had?
I mean, that is kind of what I was saying. So I'll give him a pass, but no.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's just reductive, and I don't feel like that. I mean, to be reductive about what we're saying isn't beneficial. If you want to be build on it, that's one thing. If you want to, but I mean, ultimately, you're talking about cynicism, yes.
Yeah.
And if aliens are real, they laugh at Earth. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't really help us at all. It's
I mean,
unfortunately, I wish that we were in a period where I just could laugh at this. And there's a time a couple of years ago probably that I would have just been like, yeah, the aliens think we're fucking stupid. And right there with you. But things are so dire right now, man, that I feel like we need to be having as many, fruitful conversations as we can, even if we're not, like I said, it wasn't supposed to get too heavy in here and we weren't supposed to go, but for an hour.
Well, here we all are. Well, I want to take this one apart. This
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
I didn't mean to click on that, but I'll answer in a minute.
Oh, sure. So if aliens are real, to laugh at Earth. Okay, so we talk about aliens. we can kind of judge how aliens will act because we interact with intelligences that express some level of sapience that are not like our own in terms of a wide range of animals. And I'm going to make light of it. What is it? Was it Christy Nome shot her dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. That dog didn't know why it got shot. That dog didn't know what it did wrong.
Yeah.
We know how other intelligences, at least as far as in our same planet, operate to some extent, and they would just be very confused. And conservatives would react violently to that confusion because that's what they've got.
Well, you know, some people believe that the concept of an angel that have been in the past been mistaken or been aliens that were mistaken as angels. And there's because I can always bring it back to a lyric from either a Tool or an Incubus song.
You really can.
There's a Tool song called "Right Into," and the lyric, one of the lyrics is "Angels on the sideline, puzzled and confused. Father bless them all with reason, and now they're all wait." Yeah, something like that. But basically said that, you know, give them thumbs, they forge a blade and beat their brother down, or cut it right into. And there's another one about beat their brother down. And the whole thing is perspective of angels rather, on the sideline, just confused at what the fuck is going on here. Like, what are the, you know? And then another lyric is monkey killing monkey over pieces of the ground.
Yeah,
and you know, it's a great song. And it does, you know, take the perspective outside of, you know, stepping outside of, like, if you were just looking at this from an outside perspective, what would it be like, you know? And that's what it is. You know, we're having a hard time rising above it. Now, I choose to believe, based on some evidence, maybe some blind faith, that we're at an inflection point in history where there are enough people that have begun to recognize the inherent flaws to how we set up society a long time ago. And are willing to and wanting to change that. And then there are the people who have benefited historically from the way that society's been set up, and they are doing everything and throwing everything they can back at, you know, the people that are you know, snapping to, right? And you know, that's why I think it's important that we don't give up. That's why I think it's important that I make the changes with my content that I'm going to be making.
I think it's why it's important we see what's going on in Minnesota right now. Because we've seen stuff like in Portland and stuff with the blown up animal costumes and stuff. The perception of LA as far as the rest of the country is concerned is that it's as that clip sort of played at is that it's a very left-wing city. Minnesota's a pretty ideologically diverse place with a wide array of people and beliefs, and everyone there is like, this has got to fucking stop, and these fuckers got to go, and they don't belong here. They're kidnapping our neighbors, they're harassing our neighbors, they're shooting our neighbors. That's going to be a unifying spot. I think, yeah, you want to grab that one? I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
So I'll read it out. Do you worry about Marcoa asks, do you worry about Misery Build's character when it's used as a justification? Can people reject that?
Yes, because what you're saying with that is what it can be interchangeable with trauma, can be interchanged with misery, pain, cause, and it's abuser logic. It's straight up abuser logic. Now, it's tricky because here's the thing, from my personal perspective. One of the ways I've talked about before, I had especially my younger life as a kid, I had a lot of terrible shit going on that a lot of people have not experienced, and I'm grateful for that. And I feel for anybody that's had similar or especially worse. There those exist too. And I feel fortunate in some ways that some of those experiences have played into giving me perspective and empathy and a will to act to prevent that type of thing. And the paradox there is that that is my character, and that is character that is, in somewhat, defined by at least initially by the trauma and the abuse straight up abuse that I experienced, but it's what I chose to do with it. And, you know, how I was fortunate enough really to be able to, you know, make certain decisions and have certain resources eventually, and so on and so forth, and fortunate to have certain people in my life that would understand when I was going through extremely difficult times that really nobody should have had stuck around for me during, but some people did, right? And and I'm fortunate, and I feel like I have to, not have to, I just feel I want to give that back, and I want to, I see that as, just boil it down, it's just love, and I want to give that love back to people. It sounds fucking corny, but that's how I see it. And so anybody that uses that as pre-justification logic is a bad person. Okay. Anybody that's like, there's fucking the old, like Vosh used to have this argument about, like, I don't even want to get into it because I haven't prepared myself to say it, so it can go wrong pretty easily. But basically, there are people that say, well, oh, this kid got abused as a kid, beaten up or whatever, and he turned that into, now he helps people, and isn't that a generally good outcome? And it's like, well, yes, but that's not guaranteed. And in fact, I'd probably argue that it's not the norm. It's
Right.
not, and that was also because that person was forced into that situation, that they chose the best option they could given the fucking damage that was done. They chose, they were forced to, they could be doing something far different, far greater, something that had, was not the result of all that pain.
Right.
They could be doing that with their life. I could be doing that, right? But I'm not. And not that I'm regretful or resentful or anything, but at the same time, it's just people. I mean, and then just the bottom line that pain, trauma causes people to become more inward, more antisocial, more immediately focused on their immediate needs, or what they feel like their needs are, ways that they can get out of their anxious and depressed cycles. I know from experience. And so that's why you get people like MAGA people who they've done, a lot of these people out in fucking middle of nowhere and stuff have known nothing but generations of fucking suffering and abuse and pain, and they think that's all their life is. And so when they know that other people exist that don't experience that, they fucking hate them, and they think that it's on them to fucking make sure that they do experience that, because hard men create good times, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
so I want to build off of that, because that last bit is something that, like, Elon Musk has said.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk certainly seems to be, when it comes to other people, someone who espouses rather that sort of misery builds character belief. But he has no character, and all he is miserable, right? Look at the guy. He's paying people to play video games for him so he can try and impress Asmongold, a guy who is literally living in his own filth.
He's a human roach.
That's a miserable existence. He has effectively more than infinite money. Yet he's had all of these children who all hate him, apparently, or several of them do. He's dodging child support payments. Again, he has infinite money. That's something an accountant could just handle. But, someone said something he didn't like on the platform he turned into a, Nazi forum. And so now he's got to ruin their life because he's miserable. Misery doesn't build character. Growth builds character. Yep. And yes, you can grow because something miserable happened, but you don't need misery to grow.
Now, if somebody says, if you decide, I want to run every single day 15 miles until my lungs are burning and my fucking muscles are giving out, and then fucking crash, and then fucking eat nothing but, like the whatever fucking food that, marathon runners or whatever, that's probably disgusting and not fun. If you decide to do that to yourself so that you can grow muscles and become stronger, faster, whatever, that's your fucking choice. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I would say maybe question, what is it that is making you feel you need to go to such extremes?
Right.
But other than that, that is your choice. Someone else telling you you've got to do this. If you don't do this, you're weak or whatever. So, like, that's a whole different story. So, every individual justifies things to themselves every single day that probably isn't their best interest, probably isn't their best, health, things like that. We all do it to some degree. So, there's that. And I hope that all of us are at least aware of it to some degree, and that sometimes we at least stop and ask ourselves why we do it. But other than that, it should be nobody else making that choice for us, especially institutions, governmental systems, parents, people that any party, individual, institution that has power over someone without power, making that choice. I'm more and more as time goes on, I find to be evil. So
yeah. So what fun things are going on?
Well, not a lot. I did want to, because he said this, I wanted to go ahead and answer this real quick.
Oh, wow, I missed that.
You're not broken. I'm going to tell you this. The thing that I was just talking to my partner about this the other night, I talked about the realization I had that helped me start to make a breakthrough in my life back in 2016, 2017, was I consider myself broken for a long time at that point. I thought that the things that I experienced were just too much for me to ever become anything different than just like a anxious, literally hands trembling all the time, out of anxiety kind of person, not fearful, just fucking anxious, like traumatized. And I didn't know that there was a way out of it. I didn't think that it was, I was just like, I consider it like I don't know, like a porcelain vase or something. Like you fucking smash that thing to shit and it's like, yeah, maybe you can put it back together, but it's going to be fucked up. And then I got with a therapist that explained it to me a different way. That, and here's the thing: I thought I was objectively broken, right? And that was the fucking thought that really fucked me up. And that's why I've railed so hard in recent years against the idea of objectivity about things that it doesn't have anything to do with. Because I was not objectively, I was just, convinced of it. And because of my limited perspective, and I got more perspective. I got people and resources in my life that helped me start to make change slowly. And you're doing the right thing by being in therapy. And just I'll say this: the first thing that you have to change, if this is the way you feel, is the narrative that you tell yourself, because that's really the foundation for everything else. If you tell yourself I'm broken and I can't change and this is too much, it probably will be. Now you can have moments where you let yourself feel that way, but don't fucking let it become, your allegorical elegy, so to speak. Don't let yourself become convinced that this is just a truism and can't be changed, because it can be. I promise you. So, yeah.
So I think for a similar but different perspective on that, because I know with my collection of mental health issues, I certainly feel as though things have broken in me. But that's okay. So what things are broken? A broken knife still cuts. A broken rope can be tied together. Broken metal can be welded or screwed back together. There's some amazing glues out there.
To quote Mitch Hedberg, I like an escalator, man, because an escalator can never break. It just becomes stairs.
That's a good way. Yeah, same sort of deal. That like, even if you see yourself as broken, that's fine. That doesn't make you worth less or mean that you failed. Just means you took some battle damage. And fuck, we've all taken some battle damage.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I missed that part in my speech, is that it's not even a reflection of you if you feel broken.
Yeah, it's just,
it's shitty.
Right. It's
can be shitty.
It can be shitty, and it can be good too. And even if you see yourself as broken, there's still things you contribute to this world and the people around you. No matter how you see yourself or how broken you feel. Because I know there's been times where I felt very broken, but I had shit to do, and I just had to keep going forward, because that was that or go swimming in a very cold lake. Fun fact, I can't swim.
Oh.
So it's yeah, I feel like I am stuck and can't change. Nothing is the same, and I don't really know how to cope with it. Can't even truly tell my therapist wrong because I can't articulate it. That I know what that's like. I guess to share a personal detail. I don't remember much before I was like 14, 15 years old. Some things went very wrong in my life. And there are things I couldn't talk about it till I was an adult and like well into my late 20s, where it was just like people in my life would reference things and I would just kind of play along. I didn't know what was wrong, what had happened, why people knew me and I didn't know them. And there weren't words for it. It just took time to talk about those things with people I trusted and to just learn to say, I don't know, or I don't remember. And yeah, there's consequences to that. To saying something's wrong and I don't know what. And people who even care a little will, ask for something and you'll try and find the words. And it's like a muscle. The more you keep trying, the more you build it up and the stronger it becomes. And sooner than later, it'll creep up on you and you'll find those words. You'll find how to articulate it. It just
and
takes time.
I don't think I've talked about this specifically, but like, let me tell you guys how I figured out that I was better than I had been pretty much my entire life. So first of all, let me answer this. Absolutely. Spider-Man, read Spider-Man comics. That's one way to do it, man. Look to Spider-Man. He's always gets up. He's got, except for maybe in the 90s when he was married to a supermodel, things were a little bit easier for him then. But this is not the, I think you got the wrong idea about this being the last. This is not the last AF video. This is a stream. The last video will be sometime later in the week. And it's not going to be the last time that I talk about Spider-Man. I promise that. Okay.
Spider-Man will return.
The last
in the modern audience.
In the literal sense of the name of the channel. This channel is not going to be the primary channel. We're going to be growing another channel. Actual Fandom as the branding is done. But yeah, Spider-Man. This is true. This is how Spider-Man does it. Anytime you read a comic or see a movie about a hero that it looks like he's down for the count, you're not supposed to take it literally like you've had your ass beaten and your skull fractured and you just got to get literally back up and fight the bad guy, but figuratively you got to do that. You know what I mean? You got to try, and it only takes, it just takes one step at a time. And then what's next? The second step. As for this, thank you, Ben from the bunker. First time comment that I can remember.
Yeah, welcome.
Is absolutely true. Your reaction to things is the only thing you can control.
Yeah.
If you're trying to control outcomes that have nothing to do with you or that people inflict on you, unless you can change your environment, which is an important thing to try to do if possible, by the way. If your environment is something that is keeping you down, if you can, try to change that environment. I know how hard that is, much easier said than done. But I want to share the moment that I realized that I had something to offer, as far as like solace, comfort, hope, anything like that to people. And it was simply by sharing my experience in my Watchmen video. That's right. I was already making YouTube content whenever I fully kind of internalized that, I've gotten to a point where my experiences, if I express them, can help other people. Right. And shortly after that, I had a roommate, a friend that moved in as roommates, and we lived together in a house for a couple of years. And she was awesome, she was amazing, and she had a lot of stuff that she was going through, but she didn't have the same stuff as me. But we basically helped each other out because her chill, calm demeanor that she hid a lot of stuff underneath, that helped me kind of become more of a chill and calm person. Meanwhile, I was able to start communicating, how I'd worked on stuff with her, and that helped her a lot. It was a very beneficial relationship. And from there, you know, and all the while I was getting comments from people, you know, on YouTube telling me, you know, just talking about this had, you know, helped them. By the way, if you haven't seen my Hulk video from a couple of years ago, watch that. If you haven't seen my Spider-Man video from a few years ago, watch that. There's a playlist called Chud Free Content. Watch this.
It's worth watching.
But yeah, so I in that Watchmen video, I which I almost stopped and deleted whenever it was about to premiere, because I was so nervous about talking about my history with racism, as far as like coming up in an area where my family and everybody around me was, you know, pretty racist. And even though I didn't consider myself one, and I would never intentionally, knowingly treat anybody differently because of their skin, I still held some biased, you know, bigoted ideas when I was a little bit younger, just through lack of education, lack of context. And by sharing that, I mean, you can go look at it right now. I fucking weeped, you know, partially with joy, partially, you know, I was a mix of feelings. But all of the people that were like, you know, expressing how great it was just to see a white dude share that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I wasn't going for that. I wasn't going for fucking woke points or clout. I was just like, maybe it'll be beneficial if I talk about my growth from this to where I'm at now. Maybe, you know, I was trying to basically reach out to white people essentially, but I had a bunch of black people in the comments that are like, oh, holy shit. You know, a lot of praise there. And it made me realize that even if I'm not trying to, or even if it's not my intention, just speaking about my experience can help other people, and that can help heal you too. Because then you start to, it begins to coalesce in your mind, it begins to you know, lay the groundwork of like, okay, pain and suffering doesn't have to be pointless. Like, and this goes back to the initial question,
right?
You shouldn't inflict it on anybody. You shouldn't want it inflicted on you. But if that's where you find yourself, one of the ways that you might be able to find some healing and some peace is by helping others do the same thing. That's why group therapy is actually a pretty cool thing. If you can find a good group, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So.
fuck yeah. That's rad, dude. Bro is the progressive caucus lead in Ohio for his county. Presuming you're him based on the name. If that's wrong, correct me. Dude, that's rad as hell.
Well, there you go. You were saying that just a minute ago. You sound like you were stuck, and feeling like you're stuck and being stuck are two different things. Because if you're working at it, you're not stuck. That, I mean, I'm just going to say that, as simple as that.
That you feel stuck because you're frustrated. You're not moving forward as well as you'd like. That feeling that you're stuck, that you're pushing and not getting where you want, is the surest sign you're moving.
Yep,
you're just stuck in traffic.
Very similar thing to what I learned about being a parent early on, which is that, you know, I was so fucking like neurotic about everything, and like, am I doing things right? I don't know if I'm doing this right now. Oh God, I'm such a bad parent. I'm a terrible parent. I don't think I'm doing any of this right. You know what I mean? And my partner at the time, my daughter's mother's mother, you know, I said something like that to her, and she's a real cool lady, and she was like, she said, "Dang, if you're worried about whether or not you're being a good parent, that's what good parents do." She's like, you know, if you're not thinking about that, you're probably a shitty parent. You know, and there's some truth to it, because, you know, if as long as you're learning as you go and adapting and making the best choices you can for the little one, the powerless one in your care, then yeah, you're going to be a little bit neurotic, especially at first. But I mean, even sometimes going forward. Anyway. So, you know, we weren't supposed to get into a bunch of big, deep stuff today, but that's, you know, how it goes on Actual Fandom, or how it went, rather. It'll go like this on the Modern Audience now.
It will, yeah. We'll share the link one more time.
I do have
a new stream, new disc, new show, new channel.
Yep.
New
for
Patreon goals, perhaps.
I mean, almost without fail, if you find a therapist, and I'm not talking about a psychiatrist that's, you know, but sometimes in that case too, but I mean, you know, a lot of people that work in the mental health field have come from a place that probably isn't dissimilar from where you might feel right now, stuck, or where I felt before, and sometimes still do here and there. You know, they come from their own personal experiences that, you know, one of the ways, or the way that they found best to, you know, process and make use of their trauma and experiences is to benefit others with it. And so, you don't have an obligation to do that. But I mean, if you can just find somebody to commiserate with, because here's the secret behind people, right? And why all this chud content has always pissed me off. I mean, yeah, because of the fan stuff, that's the superficial layer to it. But at the core, what they want to do is make you feel cynical and disconnected from other people that aren't exactly like you, essentially. Because the more you connect with people, whether it's if you're white and they're black, or if they're Hispanic, or if they're trans or whatever, it doesn't matter. You have a lot in common with that person because you've experienced pain, and they have too. And that is what you can connect on. That is the thing we should all be seeking out to, not like force it on anybody, obviously, but like if you can find somebody that naturally form a bond, and you can kind of like trust each other with each other's pain and support one another and stuff like that. That's a beautiful thing. That's the best thing about humanity. That's how we've grown communities throughout, human history. That's how we've gotten to where we are. That's the better parts of humanity, is by sharing and by, looking for ways to lift others up. And, it lifts us up when we do that too. Speaking of which, I'm going to leave y'all with about a 7-minute video. We'll go ahead and say goodbye here in a minute, but I got a video that is right on this topic I'd like you guys to consider. And then the next stream, probably Shillcast. If you want to show up there on Wednesday and let me know what you think of this, or Friday, which is probably going to be when I drop my video, and I'll probably do a stream that night. We can talk about it some more, but yeah. Anything you want to say, Morgan?
I will, I'll be around.
Morgan will be around.
I will return in Avengers Endgame.
I will too.
Or Avengers Doomsday, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sick. I got con crud last week working at a gaming convention, which was a ton of fun, by the way. We raised $130 for charity, which was pretty cool. Just our little Pathfinder group. So shout out to them. They're awesome. And if anyone finds my voice, I seem to have lost it. Please email it to Dane, and Dane can forward it to me.
Yep. And I'll go ahead and say this too, that my wedding day seems to be approaching at some point. So I'll update on that. Looking at rings right now. So go to official modern audience,
because we're gonna have to come out and bother you.
Subscribe to official modern audience, please. We're trying to build that channel up from essentially the ground, and we need you over there.
We're up to 281. Let's go.
What we'll start doing pretty soon is we'll be streaming to this channel, but we're going to shut down chat on this channel, which would hopefully encourage you guys to head over there to
this channel being Actual Fandom. For those of you who have actually been watching on the modern audience.
True. Thank you. Sorry.
not that channel. Go to that channel where the chat will be starting. Dana's getting married before GTA.
And we're going to get married as soon as they release, the same day it finally releases. That way nobody will show up because everybody's going to be playing GTA 6.
That's adorable.
I mean, I got to say, it looks like a cool game from what I've seen. I'm not going to lie. But
I wonder how the user-generated content's going to be on that one compared to 5.
I'll tell you this, though. I'm probably going to be live streaming video games come fall, if you know what I'm saying.
Ooh,
one game in particular. If you know what I'm saying. Wolverine.
It's going to be Wolverine.
It's going to be Wolverine. Here's this. I'd like y'all to watch this and consider what she has to say and just kind of be thinking about it. It's a subject me and Morgan got into a heated debate about.
Yes, we had a heated but very productive debate.
No, this is not a way to keep judge from chat. That's a way to incentivize the people that watch on this channel to migrate over to the new channel that we're building up. So
yes. The Actual Fandom channel will be video only. Chat will be at the modern audience. GTA 6 will return.
Jesus will return in Avengers Doomsday. Here's this video. Peace, everybody.
Point where two groups of people can watch the exact same video of a woman being killed and walk away with completely opposite stories about what happened. What struck me about the Renee Good killing wasn't just the brutality of the act itself. It was the official response and then the comment sections afterward.
Everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourselves.
People aligned with the current regime looked at the same footage and saw obvious self-defense, obvious necessity. People outside that orbit saw an obvious execution by the state. And that's not normal political disagreement. That's not like I like higher taxes and you like lower taxes. That's a fracture in what counts as empirical reality, what counts as a fact. Historically, that kind of split shows up in pretty dark places. So you can think of the stab in the back myth in Weimar Germany, where a huge chunk of the population insisted that Germany hadn't really lost World War I. It had been betrayed from within. Or the lost cause narrative after the U.S. Civil War, where an entire region retold slavery as benign and the Confederacy as noble against mountains of evidence. And in each case, the point wasn't just we disagree on policy, it was we live in different worlds about what happened. And that's the kind of break the Renee Good reaction is signaling now. So the question isn't just, was this shooting justified? And in my view, it was unequivocally not justified. It's what does it mean for a democracy when lethal force by the state becomes an optical test for entirely separate realities? So what if the core political divide isn't actually left versus right, but people who can tolerate ambiguity and discomfort versus people who can't? A lot of research on authoritarianism finds the same pattern, which is people with authoritarian leanings tend to have very low tolerance for ambiguity. They want clear hierarchies, simple rules, and sharp boundaries between us and them. Ambiguous situations, new norms around gender, shifting racial hierarchies, changing demographics don't just feel confusing, they feel threatening. That internal panic gets externalized as a demand to make the world simpler again. Get rid of the strange people, shut down the confusing practices, and punish the ones who break the old script. In a pluralistic democracy, difference and ambiguity are baked into the cake. You're always encountering people, beliefs, and bodies that don't fit your template. For some people, that's uncomfortable but manageable. For others, it's almost intolerable. And that's where you start to see attraction to strong men, purges, and fantasies of cleansing violence. So when we talk about a temperamental minority that can't easily live in pluralism, that's what we mean. Not that they're evil by nature, but that their nervous systems are constantly screaming, make this stop, when they encounter ambiguity or discomfort. Without emotional regulation skills and self-insight, which, let's admit, most adults struggle with, but this temperament in particular, this can easily cause major issues inside a diverse society that is constantly changing. There's a brutal little paradox at the heart of any free society, and that's if you tolerate people who want to end tolerance, you eventually lose the whole thing. Can a democracy safely include people who fundamentally don't believe in democracy? At some point, the answer has to be not without limits. Karl Popper called this the paradox of tolerance. A fully tolerant society, he said, cannot be tolerant of movements that seek to destroy tolerance itself.
Was ich bei der offenen Gesellschaft gemeint habe, war eine Gesellschaft, sagen wir, in der man frei atmen kann, frei denken kann, in der jeder Mensch einen Wert hat und in der die Gesellschaft keine überflüssigen Zwänge über die Menschen ausübt.
That doesn't mean that you put people in prison for bad opinions. It means you draw hard lines around actions and organized projects. Post-war Germany is a good example of this. It bans explicitly Nazi parties and can dissolve groups that aimed to overthrow the democratic order, precisely because it learned what happens when you let anti-pluralist movements capture the state. In the US context, that's the unresolved problem. We've treated it's just another opinion and it's an organized attempt to end democracy as if they belong in the same bucket, when they don't. One can be tolerated, the other, if you let it run, will eventually shut down everyone else's voices. So the real question isn't, should we tolerate people we disagree with? Of course we should. The real question is, where do we draw the line when a movement's explicit or implicit goal is to eliminate the possibility of disagreement at all? When we get to the other side of this, the hardest problem maybe won't be rewriting the laws. It'll be living with a permanent minority that struggles to function in a pluralistic world. When this project eventually collapses, as authoritarian projects tend to, we'll still be left with a sizable minority whose psychological profile doesn't magically change. They will still struggle with ambiguity and still prefer rigid hierarchies and still feel existentially threatened by visible difference. That means any viable after has to do at least 3 things. The first is to build hard legal and institutional limits so that anti-pluralist movements can't easily seize the state again, as post-war Germany has done. The second is that we need to invest early and deeply in teaching ambiguity tolerance, how to live with discomfort without immediately reaching for elimination. Third, create exit ramps for people who are leaving authoritarian spaces that don't require them to endure total humiliation or social death. Because if the only options are domination or annihilation, people will cling to domination. This is not to excuse the harm that these people have done and are doing. Anyone committing crimes and atrocities should be held fully accountable. But for those who want to get off the rage carousel, there should be ways to do that that don't feel like total psychological extinction. None of that is clean or easy, but it's more honest. The project isn't just stop this, it's how do we design a society that can survive with a permanent, fearful, anti-pluralist minority without letting that fear run the whole show again.
And for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot.